Jingyun followed Lin Feng. She was talented at the 7th level of the martial realm, and she was too weak. Basically, she was at the bottom of Fengyun Gorge and was not suitable for experience. Han Man understands what Lin Feng means, and this is exactly what he wants. If Lin Feng has always been by his side to protect him, it is still a waste of experience. The key to the road of martial arts is to rely on yourself. Sure enough, not long after walking forward alone, someone came to Han Man's side, and his eyes that were exposed outside the mask showed a hint of fighting intent. No nonsense, this man charged directly at Han Man, waving his iron fist out. This is going to be bad for Han Man. This person is a Qi Wujing 9th level martial artist. Lin Feng chuckled. Han Man also judged his cultivation from the breath released by the other party, but he did not flinch, but instead the strength of the whole body gathered on the fist, burst out with a loud shout, and bombarded it with all its strength. With one punch, Han Man took a dozen steps back in a row, but the opponent didn't move at all and made a judgment. The 8th level of Qi Wujing, you can't. The man said indifferently, then turned and left, losing interest in Han Man. Many people experience the pleasure of abuse, but those who really pursue martial arts will not to enjoy abusing others, but to find someone of equal strength or even someone stronger than you to fight against, so that you can truly stimulate your potential and have the greatest experience. Wait. This is Han Man's first battle in Fengyun Gorge. How could he admit defeat so easily? The power of his martial spirit was released, and Han Man was immediately enveloped by a layer of khaki halo, as if he was as close to the earth as he was. Integrate into one, and his breath keeps rising. Earth martial spirit. The man showed a hint of interest, and then smiled at Han Man. Nice martial spirit, give me 3 punches to try. After the man finished speaking, he stepped out and came to Han Man in an instant. Boom! The khaki light bloomed and the dust flew up. Han Man stepped back 5 or 6 steps, blood oozing from the corners of his mouth. Come again. Han Man touched the blood on the corner of his mouth. His arrogance was dry, he did not retreat but advanced. The earthy yellow luster of his martial arts became brighter and brighter, as if it was integrated with the earth. Boom! The sound of the explosion was deafening. Han Man took 8 steps back, and the other party actually took 3 steps back. Happy. The man drank, and a white glow began to bloom on his fist, reminding him, be careful, I'm going to use martial arts. Okay. Han Man responded and stepped forward. Every time he took a step, the ground trembled, and a powerful force rushed out. Take advantage of the situation. Lin Feng's eyes narrowed slightly, and then he smiled. He did not expect that this battle would undoubtedly make Han Man know how to take advantage of the situation, using the martial spirit of the earth, drawing the power of the earth, and borrowing the power of the earth. Boom! The fists collided, and a piece of dust drowned the figures of the two. After a while, the figures of the two appeared, and Han Man sat on the ground, but stayed there thoughtfully. I understand. The person opposite Han Man laughed, and a trace of blood oozes from the corner of his mouth. He didn't expect that Han Man's last blow was so powerful that he was injured a little bit, but it was worth it. He also had a glimpse of understanding. With a flickering figure, the man left immediately without disturbing Han Man. Interesting person. Lin Feng and Jingyun came to Han Man's side, and they had a little respect for the man just now. He was a man. Naturally, the two of them knew that Han Man seemed to have realized something, so naturally they would not bother. They sat beside Han Man and waited quietly. It is very rare to have an epiphany. An epiphany is absolutely impossible for Wuxiu to meet. It is conceivable that Han Man's strength will definitely improve rapidly after waking up. Lin Feng and Jingyun are envious of this guy. Entering Fengyun Gorge Epiphany in the first battle. Time passed slowly, and at this moment, a powerful aura suddenly emanated from Han Man's body, which made Lin Feng and Jingyun startled and looked at each other in astonishment. This power is so powerful, it gives people the feeling of deep and ancient times. Is this really the power of epiphany? Lin Feng secretly said in his heart, the way of martial arts is indeed vast and vast. How to use his own power to move mountains and reclaim the sea, destroy the sky and destroy the earth. It is rumored that the emperor of the martial arts can fly into the sky and enter the earth in an instant. His soul is immortal, and his body is immortal. How powerful is that? Lin Feng had a slight yearning in his heart. One day, will he be able to surpass Zhou Xiao? While Lin Feng was thinking about it, not far in front of them, a figure walked towards the side, and Han Man, who had an epiphany on the ground, sneered. "Wake up for me." The tyrant's voice was deafening, shaking the space, directly entering the ears of the three of Lin Feng. Wow! Han Man groaned, a mouthful of blood spurting out of his mouth, his breath fluctuating violently. The red eyes stared at the figure in the distance, he could feel, almost as if he could control that power, but at this critical moment, he was interrupted, and this person was directly for him. The voice poured into his ears, causing him to vomit blood. Shameless. Lin Feng's expression was cold, he stood up and stared at the figure in the distance. This person deliberately targeted Han Man and interrupted Han Man's epiphany. How shameless. Han Man stepped forward, stared at the figure, and asked angrily, "Why?" "It's nothing, it's just fun." This man was not wearing a mask, with a narrow look on his face, half a smile, but not a smile. Han Man and the three did not recognize this man. Fun? Han Man took a few steps forward, and the coldness on his body bloomed. Of course, he understood how rare his epiphany just now was, but he was interrupted abruptly by the other party, and he was also injured. Hee, I want to fight? But I'm not happy in this canyon. If I want to take revenge, how about going to the stage of life and death? The young man's tone was contemptuous, as if he looked down on Han Man. Okay. Han Man held a wave of anger in his chest, and agreed without any hesitation. I'll wait for you. The young man flashed and walked towards the platform of life and death. Han Man, you don't know what his strength is. It's very dangerous to go to the stage of life and death. Lin Feng persuaded. I can feel his cultivation, just like me, at the 8th level of Qi and martial realm. Han Man's answer made Lin Feng a little surprised. Can Han Man feel the other's cultivation? I don't know what's going on, but I can also feel that you and Jingyun's current cultivation is due to the epiphany just now. Seeing that Lin Feng explained in confusion, Han Man immediately followed the young man away. Let's go. Lin Feng was a little surprised. He and Jingyun caught up with Han Man. I hoped that was the case. If the other party was also at the 8th level of Qi and martial realm, with Han Man's epiphany just now, there might be hope of winning. Fengyun Gorge, the platform of life and death, is located in the middle of the canyon. There are 10 towers in total. They protrude from the flat ground and are connected into one piece. The area around the platform of life and death is a flat land with an extremely broad field of vision. At this moment, the two figures stepped onto the stage of life and death, and immediately attracted the surrounding crowd. In an instant, many people rushed towards the side. Although there are many people entering Fengyun Gorge, there are very few people on the platform of life and death. After all, once on the platform of life and death are up to one's life. Who is willing to take the risk if there is no major hatred? Even if there is major hatred, both parties must be equal, so that they dare to fight. Therefore, after Han Man and the two set foot on the platform of life and death, the number of people around them increased sharply, and they gathered around the platform to watch, and above the canyon, some people also noticed this, and the news of someone on the platform of life and death spread at the fastest speed. Once on the stage of life and death depend on your life. Now, your life and death are under my control. The young man sneered at Han Man. Han Man, remember, the person who wants your life is called Jiang Huai. Lin Feng, who was under the stage of life and death, frowned, and when he heard the other party's words, he suddenly felt a hint of conspiracy. Yuyu reading www.yuyukangshu.com. Do you recognize me? Han Man asked angrily. He. Jiang Huaili laughed, and a violent aura suddenly burst out from his body, a fiery aura of flames, and behind him, a phantom of flames appeared, the flames of martial souls. It is indeed the 8th level of Qi and martial realm. Lin Feng felt a little relieved from this breath. Han Man's earth spirit also bloomed, and he stepped forward. Although it was unpleasant, every step he took, the momentum that bloomed on Han Man's body seemed to be stronger. Flaming palm. The tyrannical fiery palm rushed towards Han Man, only to see Han Man's footsteps suddenly stomping on the ground, motionless like a mountain, and shouted, Kaishan fist. The fists and palms collided, and their bodies both stood firmly in place, but neither one took advantage. Jiang Hui frowned. He didn't expect that Han Man's strength was not weaker than him. A grin flashed on his face. He waved his left hand out. Face and eyes. Go to hell. Jiang Hui took advantage of the emptiness, punched Han Man's chest, and directly blasted Han Man out. Despicable. Lin Feng cursed loudly, and was about to step towards the platform of life and death, but saw a figure suddenly appear in front of him. As soon as you go to the stage of life and death depend on your life, don't worry, it will be your turn soon. The man said indifferently, seeing his face and Jing Yun's eyes slightly condensed. Jing Hao. With an exclamation, Jing Yun saw that the person behind Jing Hao was the one who was injured by Lin Feng's palm. Everything suddenly became clear.